running back, his graduate year, and obviously his success on the lacrosse field.
There are so many great matchups in this game, including at the face-off stripe, the two greatest face-off artists of all time, Trevor Baptiste and TD Ierlan, go head-to-head for the second time as pros. Under the helmet, powered by Sun Chlorella with Trevor Baptiste.
Trevor, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go. It's been a little bit too long of a wait.
This is a big boy matchup at the stripe with TD Ierlan. Where does he challenge you the most?
You know, TD's a really talented face-off guy. It's going to be a battle all day at the X. You know, just got to make sure I'm fast. My hands are ready. We both got speed. Playing physical. Let's play as a team out here as a unit.
They met last year as pros. They met for minutes. Ready for the face-off. Ierlan and Baptiste, the two greatest to ever play that position. Ierlan wins the opening draw. Plays it out to the wing. Ryder Garnsey will set things up for Redwoods. Matt Cavanaugh going.
If you shade too far to the left with Teat, you have Gray on the right, who virtually could do the same thing.
Now this is what we're in for today at the stripe. Neither yielding an inch. And round two to Baptiste. Flips it over, shot, score! Jeff Teat again. 2 goals in a row for Teat, the Rookie of the Year in the PLL a season ago.
His body control. He just sees defenders all around him and is just so poised. And I think the biggest difference between TD and Trevor Baptiste, the face-off stripe, is Trevor's ability to generate offense. You're going to see him after winning this draw and push it forward. He draws Eppel and a backhand flip, and the Teat, that little hitch, he lets Hallenbach, that short stick defensive midfielder, run by him, get to the middle of the field, increase your angle, and bang, 2 in a row.
It's a master class increasing his angle.
How about that flip by Baptiste?
Because Teat made that little move, no assist for Baptiste, but come on.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Tip your stat guy, Trevor. We didn't give him assist there.
That's a face-off violation, they'll call it. So that's 1 on Baptiste, which means he can't take the next draw. Danny Logan facing off here for Atlas. Baptiste had a face-off violation. Ierlan wins it. And here come the Redwoods looking for the equalizer. This game...
Let me ask you a question. Where do you get that kind of access?
That's what you get with the PLL. Unprecedented access with players, coaches, during the game. Now, we heard from Trevor Baptiste under the helmet right before the opening face-off. We can talk to guys in-game.
Cuts, when you watch him on tape, he knows where he's going decision-wise, but he's patient enough to let it develop.
An absolute battle between Baptiste and Ierlan. We're going to get a hold, and it's against Atlas, so Redwoods ball.
Jules has been an attackman his whole life. In professional lacrosse, he gets moved to the midfield. When you play attack and you love the position and you have all the experience, when you're on the field all the time, you get those kind of plays.
Another stalemate at the stripe. That's the game within the game. Dearth trying to put it on the ground for Teat. It's not there. Scooped up by Redwoods.
You saw number 52, Garrett Eppel. He just did a better job of hedging and recovering there to Teat. Didn't get nearly as much distance.
Off-ball player, I think, out there.
And how many times, Carr, during commercial breaks, we're doing a UNC game, we'd look at each other. We haven't called Chris Gray's name a whole lot. Then we look down at the stat sheet. It's halftime. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists.
He's a superstar.
This is the type of access that we can get with the PLL. We need an injury update. Quint goes right to Rob Pennell and asks him what's wrong.
The cramp is great news because you don't want someone in their 30s having a hamstring issue. Is conditioned, he's great of an athlete, and attention to detail in the offseason Pennell has. That's a tough injury for a veteran to deal with.
Atlas turn it over. Craig Chick could not quite thread a steer.
And the defender's approach screened him from the release point.
Face-off violation against Atlas.
Right on the doorstep.
Credit Hendenberg, 3 goals in this first half, and he's moved back to attack with Rob Pennell still on the sideline.
We spoke to Jules' dad, Gus, yesterday. He said that
On the wrong side of
all in one motion, and you're seeing the full display of an excellent all-around midfielder. Crowley showed you time and room, now off ball as a cutter. He's in this lineup.
He's also an adult amongst a lot of young bulls.
Yeah, we talked about chemistry. When the chemistry between Gray and Teat pops, and Ben Rubior's loved it in camp, but when they really get going, that is going to be ridiculous.
Now, you mentioned him being an adult. It's a bit of a trend time to go under the helmet with Trevor Baptiste.
Trevor, you're at 50% with TD. How do you separate yourself in the second half against him?
I'm on this, I gotta talk to Clark real quick. I just gotta rotate a little bit faster and stay out of the procedure battle. You know, I think it's taking out the rhythm a little bit. A couple calls here and there. I just gotta keep scrapping myself and everybody on the wakes.
Son Clarella powering the athletes under the helmet. He gets the luxury just to talk to Kark real quick. we got him in the booth the entire time. Q?
Redwoods report, Rob Pennell told me he's going to give it a try in this half. Nat St. Laurent, their head coach, mentioning 3 failed clears that led to 2 goals for the Atlas. He said his middies have to clear through the middle of the field and give more space, and you'll see a goalie change. Jack Kelly enter the conversation.
Oh, that's big. Troutner only had 2 saves in that opening half. And TD Ierlan now 8 of 13 at the
Wrong. You saw the strength on display to soak that check, to shoot through a defender.
Here comes Baptiste. Plays it back. Logan with a hot bouncer. Ben Rubior's head coach telling us yesterday, the offense just moves faster when the ball touches Chris Gray's stick. You saw it there. Lax IQ off the charts. We've seen this in his days at North Carolina. He knows what to do with the ball before he gets it. Touch pass, that started with Gray, and it ends with Long.
Anish, you're spot on. Seems when I'm playing with guys like Chris Gray and Jeff Teat.
It's starting to crystallize for all the other PLL teams watching. This Atlas offense with Gray and Teat,
3 are able to get everybody else involved.
3 goals in less than a minute. And we get a hold, and here they go.
I mean, for all the talk of Teat and Gray, I got Eric Law with 5 points.
Yeah, and he was inside finishing. He was the passer on that last.
Chris Gray, we were talking about it in the break, Ryan, a seamless fit for the offensive personality of this team.
And I think, in fairness to him, he would have been a seamless fit on a lot of offenses. I think this is more of a culture thing. You look at the rest of that offensive roster, it's just a lot of young guys.
6 goals in 1 possession or in 1 play, but it's got to be the build-up, the culmination of a lot of little plays.
Well, here's a chance for Redwoods. Ierlan wins the face-off. Logan had to take that draw because Baptiste had a face-off violation last time out.
Henningberg with the lone Atlas defender Van Raphorst.
Jules benefited initially trying to get open when Miles had the ball. And he was lucky that Miles threw it to another elite passer in Rob Pennell.
You start to come up with the calculus for a comeback. Redwoods have 2 things working for them. 1,
Lone, it's Jeff Teat.
It's Jeff Teat and it's Chris Gray. And the common denominator is both of these guys, everyone knows them as players you build an offense around, but they're so good off the ball.
This is the lacrosse equivalent of Murderer's Row. This is Ruth and Garrick batting back-to-back. Gonna pitch around one? Okay.
Of his younger career and developmental years, he's been playing box, the indoor version. Then he plays in the NLL, all outside of the PLL. So he is a full-time lacrosse player. So he's able to take all the concepts they use from box, small, tight spaces, one-handed play, and you kind of saw it on display there. He's contact doesn't matter, shrugs it off.
You could have a defender draped all over you. The great body attack spots. You have options now based on matchups. You have 4 guys, and you could run one of those 4 guys through the box. It just doesn't have to be Jules all the time.
Baptiste wins the face-off, accelerates ahead, and he puts it through. Trevor Baptiste, the top face-off man in the PLL in 2 of the last 3 years.
Trevor, when you win that draw, what goes through your mind in terms of being a shooter or a passer?
I'm just trying to run as fast as I can. Looking at the wing guys, trying to get in the hole. And it just all worked out this time.
What do you think of this offense with Chris Gray playing with Jeff?
Say that one more time.
What do you think of this offense with Chris Gray playing with Jeff T?
It's pretty phenomenal. You know, these guys obviously are talented players. You can see all the skill, but the unselfishness, the way they move the ball, is what takes them to the next level.
You can shoot.
Son Clarella powering the athletes under the helmet. Clark just got in 2 questions to a player who's now lining up right at the face-off stripe. This is the sort of access the PLL has given you guys the last 3 years. Ryan, when you did the games at NBC, they continue to push the access with the players, with the coaches. It's what makes this pro game unique. And that goal by Baptiste, that was a 2-pointer behind the arc, so it's 15-7.
There aren't a lot of midfield, and make sure that I show you how to play, show you the ropes, take care of everybody.
Eric Law challenged those 2 youngsters in film sessions throughout the week. He will teach them little subtle things.
Baptiste able to kick that ahead to Logan.
He's also super high IQ player. Huskis, the Tuaraton winner, Brendan Nickturn, Matt Moore, the seamless transition from the college to the pro game, and seeing the evolution and that these players have a home post-college.
Quinn, you've been watching college and pro lacrosse for decades. Why?
Okay, now we don't know if he's experienced any blurry vision, any discomfort.
And they did have a flag on that, so
I think he's going to pass this test pretty quick, Ryan.
they did throw a flag on Epple for that hit.
I think Rubior wanted more.
Yeah.
So it is a power play.
Only a minute, though.
Yeah, he wanted more. I don't think that I was going to get to is point differential matters.
Yes.
So in terms of playoff seedings, you've got to play to the final whistle because every single one of these goals could be a potential tiebreaker.
IDA picks it up. Epple tiptoes the sideline.
On the screen, Anish.
I think given the time constraint, that was a worthwhile challenge.
Yeah, but you lose the timeout. That's the downside. So because the Redwoods lost the challenge, they're out of timeouts. And they can't challenge in 17 in its opener. And we heard from Jeff Teat in the interview with Quint earlier in this half. They're just getting started with their chemistry. This team has a chance, Ryan, to be scary good.
And I love what they do defensively to complement their